Mikhail Massa Teachings. Shepherd of Hermas Apocrypha. True and False Prophets. He showed me people seated on a bench, and another person seated on a chair. And he said to me, "Do you see those people seated on the bench?" "I see them, sir," I replied. "These," he said, "are faithful, but the one seated on the chair is a false prophet who destroys the mind of God's servants, that is, he destroys the mind of the double-minded, not of believers." 2. The double-minded come to him as to a fortune-teller and ask him what will happen to them. And that false prophet, not having the power of a divine spirit in himself, answers them in accordance with their questions and their wicked desires, and fills their souls just as they themselves wish. 3. For since he himself is empty, he gives empty answers to empty inquirers, for no matter what is asked, he answers according to the emptiness of the one asking. But he does speak some true words, for the devil fills him with his own spirit, to see if he will be able to break down any of the righteous. For so, those who are strong in the faith of Congo, having clothed themselves with the truth, do not associate with such spirits, but have nothing to do with them. But those who are double-minded and frequently change their minds practice fortune-telling like the outsiders and bring greater sin upon themselves by their idolatries. For the one who consults a false prophet on any matter is an idolater and lacks the truth and is senseless. 5. For no spirit given by Congo needs to be consulted. Instead, having the divine power, it speaks everything on its own initiative, because it is from above, from the power of the divine spirit. 6. But the spirit that is consulted and that answers according to the desires of the people consulting it is earthly and fickle, and has no power, and does not speak at all unless it is consulted. 7. So how, sir, I asked, will a person know which of them is a prophet and which is a false prophet? Here, he said, about both the prophets, and on the basis of what I am going to tell you, you can test the prophet and false prophet. Determine the man who has the divine spirit by his life. 8. In the first place, the one who has the divine spirit from above is gentle and quiet and humble, and stays away from all evil and futile desires of this age, and considers himself to be poorer than others, and gives no answer to anyone when consulted, nor does he speak on his own, nor does the Holy Spirit speak when a person wants to speak, but when Congo wants him to speak. 9. So, then, when the person who has the divine spirit comes into an assembly of righteous people who have faith in a divine spirit, and intercession is made to Congo by the assembly of those people, then the angel of the prophetic spirit that is assigned to him fills the person, and being filled with the Holy Spirit the man speaks to the multitude just as Congo wills. 10. In this way, then, the divine spirit will be obvious. Such, therefore, is the power of discernment with respect to the divine spirit of Congo. What false prophets do. 11. Now here, he said, about the earthly and worthless spirit, which has no power but is foolish. 12. In the first place, that person who seems to have a spirit exalts himself and wants to have a seat of honor, and immediately is arrogant and shameless and talkative and well acquainted with many luxuries and with many other pleasures, and receives money for his prophesying, and if he does not receive money, he does not prophesy. Now, can a divine spirit receive money and still prophesy? It is impossible for a prophet of Congo to do this, but the spirit of such prophets who do so is earthly. 13. Next, he never comes near an assembly of righteous people, instead he avoids them, and associates with the double-minded and the empty-headed, and prophesies to them in a corner and deceives them. Everything he says is in accordance with their own desires and characterized by his own empty manner, for he is answering those who are empty. For the empty vessel placed together with other empty vessels is not broken, but they match one another. 14. But when he does come to an assembly full of righteous people who have a divine spirit, and intercession is made by them, that person is emptied and the earthly spirit flees from him in fear, and that person is rendered speechless and is completely shattered, unable to say a thing. 15. For if you store wine or oil in a storeroom and place an empty jar in among them and then later you wish to clear out the storeroom, you will find that empty jar you placed there still empty. So it is with empty prophets, whenever they encounter the spirits of the righteous, they are found to be just as they were when they arrived. 16 You now have descriptions of the life of both kinds of prophets. Therefore test by actions and life the person who claims to be spirit-inspired. 17 Put your trust in the spirit that comes from Congo and has power, but do not trust in any way the earthly and empty spirit, because it has no power, for it comes from the devil. 18 Listen to the parable I am about to tell you. Take a stone and throw it toward the sky, see if you can reach it. Or, for another example, take a water pump and squirt it toward the sky, see if you can penetrate it. 19 How, I asked, can these things be, sir? For both these things you just said are impossible. Well then, he said, just as these things are impossible, so also are the earthly spirits powerless and weak. 20 Now consider the power that comes from above. A hailstone is a very small pellet, but when it falls on a man's head, what pain it causes. Or, for another example, take a drop that falls on the ground from the roofing tiles, and wears a hole in the rock. 21 You see, then, that even the smallest things from above falling on the earth have great power, so also the divine spirit that comes from above is powerful. So put your trust in this spirit, but have nothing to do with the other one. Njita Congo will reign forever.